Now on Coast TV News.
A garage fire in Bethany Beach, what authorities battled on scene. A Rehoboth crash ending in a pond. What we're learning about this tonight.
And the forecast is looking clear, but a bit on the breezy side along the beaches. Your full forecast is indeed coming up.
Shelbyville returns. We have your inside look at the Christmas Spectacular.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Thank you so much for staying up with us after Sunday night football. New tonight, firefighters battled this garage fire. Let's take a look at some of the images here. This was on West Avenue in Ocean View. Now, firefighters say it took about 2 hours to put out. And speaking of fires, if you saw smoke for miles in Sussex County, here's why. Take a look at this. A large fire in Harbison Sunday morning. Multiple fire departments responded to this home off Route 5, just south of Route 9. No reported injuries there. And a Rehoboth Beach teenager is facing charges after police say she sped directly into a retention pond. Here's a picture of that car in the pond on Old Landing Road and Fairway Drive. Troopers say the car ended up there after speeding away from officers on Route 1. That started around 4 a.m. Good news, the driver was able to swim to shore, but she is facing multiple charges, including underage drinking and reckless driving. And we have a lot more on that crash, including what we know about the driver's identity right now on CoastTV.com. Firefighters in Millville battled a shed fire this Sunday. Good news. Firefighters say nobody was home, nobody was hurt, though the fire did spread from the shed to the home. If you are headed to downtown Lewis soon, listen to this. 2nd Street is closing. That's Monday at midnight through Tuesday at noon. The city says it's for minor resurfacing and no cars can go on 2nd Street at that time. You might remember the name Overbrook Town Center. That's what originally was going to be here, an 850,000 square foot shopping center. After years of appeals and hearings and pushback, eventually Overbrook was dropped and housing was approved. And as Coast TV's Christina DeRobertis shows us, the plan for the parcel has now doubled, and a big step on that project is happening this week.
Sussex County vote no, no, no for Overbrook Town Center. That's the message people were pushing about 7 years ago when a developer wanted to put what would have been the largest shopping center in southern Delaware on Route 1 and Cave Neck Road. Here's a look at the new plans, once again drawing the ire of the community.
Another development. We have too many going already.
The biggest concern, whether the roads can handle the influx of new neighbors.
They should be redoing our roads first, and we first moved here because it was a small, quaint community. Now you don't even want to go out in the summer.
Rich Barrasso was one of the most vocal opponents to what would have been the Overbrook Town Center. He says he's worried this new seaside at Lewis will change plans that have already been prepared for nearby roads.
It will literally crush the roundabout that's planned on the west side of Cave Neck Road.
According to DelDOT documents included in Seaside at Lewis's subdivision application, this development and others would, quote, require alteration of the Cave Neck Road overpass project design. I'm Christina DeRobertis, Coast TV News.
Now, we reached out to the developer and have not heard back. A public hearing again for that Seaside at Lewis subdivision is scheduled for this Wednesday, November 20th at 3 p.m. in front of Sussex County Planning and Zoning. And let me give you some more history about the Overbrook Town Center if you're not familiar with it. So here's exactly what happened here. Sussex County Council denied the first Overbrook application 4-1, 2016. But that's not the end. Council was court-ordered to rehear the application, and in 2018 they did that and shot it down again. Plans to build 135 homes on 64 acres, those were later approved, and according to planning documents, up to 236 homes were proposed in total, though again, that's now up to 359, and the lot has doubled from 114 acres to 240. We have an in-depth article on this proposed development and the history of the project on our website. Just search Overbrook. To Rehoboth Beach now, the on-again, off-again paving. It's on. DelDOT has announced paving on Rehoboth Avenue begins Monday, November 18th, and will continue through mid-December. There'll be a brief pause, though, before Thanksgiving until after the Christmas parade. Parking and lane closures will happen during the day, but DelDOT says parking will be available on each block at all times. Delaware's sports tourism industry is on the rise. That's according to a study from the Delaware Tourism Office. It says people visiting the first state for a tournament, race, or other event generated $258 million for Delaware last year. That's in purchases of food, hotel rooms, things like that. And this could include things like Slam Dunk to the Beach, which will not be happening this year, or tournaments at DE Turf in Frederica. Over 1 million people are considered sports travelers, according to the study. With the holidays right around the corner, the Christmas Village Shellville in Rehoboth Beach opened its doors this weekend for the public to enjoy. Now, Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zapay was there, and he shows us what's inside.
Right behind the Tanger outlets, you'll find the Christmas Village Shellville, free for the whole family to enjoy. Cynthia Connolly and her husband are excited for their first walkthrough.
It's just a delightful place to be. So enchanting, and the people are so warm and inviting, and all the exhibits are just lovely and tastefully done.
The 5.5 acres of Christmas cheer includes train rides, sledding and snowball fights for the kids to enjoy, an ice skating area, live music playing throughout the village, miniature houses for the elves and children, and special appearances by Santa and Mrs. Claus. Alyssa Titus, the director in marketing for the Shell Brothers, says it takes all year to prepare for the Christmas season, but it always pays off in the end.
We love this event so much because people come in and the joy is so apparent when it snows every 15 minutes, when they see all these magical things with the little kids just shrieking for joy in the houses. So it's really, really special at Shellville, and we love that we can offer that to the community for free.
The village also has festive houses that feature many local businesses. Matthew and Isabel Walsh sell alfajores from South and Central America, and this is their third year in Shellville.
It's always busy, it gets better every night, every season gets bigger and better, so it's a great time to be here.
With magic in the air, there is something for everyone in Shellville. In Rehoboth Beach, I'm Kevin Zapay, Coast TV News.
And if you want to see Shellville for yourself, it's open most Thursdays through Sundays through New Year's Eve from 1 to 9 p.m. with a short break between 4 and 5. And that's not all for the Christmas Spectacular. The 32nd annual Winterfest of Lights in Ocean City starts this Thursday. This year's event has expanded light displays, fire pits, amusement rides, and this is kind of interesting, augmented reality games. For those who use public transit, 2 big DART changes went into effect Sunday. Route 212, that will no longer stop at Georgetown Professional Park. Also Route 215, that will end at 9:30 and no longer run on Saturdays. DART says that is due to low ridership. Lewis Library lovers, heads up, the library will open at noon on Thursday. The library says the delayed opening is due to required maintenance. And speaking of libraries, did you know Selbyville has a new library? It's located right next to the previous location, but it's 3 times the size. Along with its fresh look, the building includes sections for all ages, adults, teens, even a dedicated section of the library for children. The Selbyville Public Library director hopes this big upgrade will bring more people to the library.
The best way to support your library is to use it. And there truly is something here for everyone. So we hope that folks will come and check it out and take a look around.
The new Selbyville Library is open Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. Well, if you have applied to help from Delaware's housing authorities, you're going to want to listen to this. The Delaware State Housing Authority says all 5 of the state's public housing authorities now have one application, meaning you don't have to apply through separate websites or vouchers for housing help. Now, here's a really important part of the story, though. Anyone currently on a wait list must update their application information by this Friday, November 22nd. Monday morning on Coast TV News, tune in for a look at how Milford and Slaughter Beach are partnering up in quite a big way. And then coming up Monday evening, tune into Coast TV News to see how Ocean City's economy is faring, the new numbers that are just in. We have those stories and even more Monday on Coast TV News.
Well, as we take a look at our Bay forecast, we do have a chance of rain developing on Wednesday, so we're looking at an opportunity to break this pattern of dry weather. Your full forecast coming up.
And after that, a daring rescue caught on camera. Where in our region this happened? Don't go anywhere. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Well, it's not that you needed a reminder of this, but so far for this fall, we have been inundated with the problem of not having enough precipitation in place. That's caused some problems and complications for industries, farmers, and folks just wanting to have a balanced kind of a fall season. So we have a shot at some scattered showers, but even as I'm running these late night, early morning models, even that's starting to back off. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment. First of all, our Bay Health camera in Milford live for us right now. We take a look. Now, we're looking for a pleasant and cool evening to continue. I'm going to say pleasant if you're bundled up. If you're not so pleasant. Now, we will turn much milder on Monday. Temperature's going to escalate into the upper 60s to possibly 70 degrees. So relatively mild Monday. Then there's that chance of rain. Now, there's a storm system that's developing. Should be here by Wednesday, but it's already losing its gusto as we speak. So, it's trying to become iffy for me. By the way, if you want to enjoy the meteor shower tonight and tomorrow, probably our peak opportunity for doing that with temperatures staying in the 40s. Now, we are into the 40s at this present time, and we're like 7 to even 11 in Cambridge degrees cooler than we were. So there's a definite nip in the air that's not so comfortable right now after the game, but that's okay. With the winds coming out of the west, it could be worse. The winds are coming out of the north. That would make it worse. Well, they are going to eventually come out of the north before it's all said and done. From a regional standpoint, we're relatively quiet. We're keeping a very close eye on this trough as it begins to push through. A dominant high pressure system is immediately behind it. So we're looking for it to stay dry for a little while, but we're still in the midst of a drought season. When it was updated on last part of last week, we're still really dry. So that's why this 50% chance of rain on Wednesday, this is as they say in the Anchorman movies, this is a very big deal here, okay? Because we're looking at that 50% chance of rain, and that's our shot. Even as we break it down, even in day parts, we're looking at a chance of rain for Tuesday night, but really going into Wednesday, that's when we're looking at that opportunity for scattered showers. So for Monday, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s by the afternoon with mostly sunny skies. Tuesday, we see more moisture building. Going into Tuesday afternoon, it becomes a bit cloudy and not quite as warm. But we see spotty showers basically freckling the scene, so to speak, okay? Now, as far as the amount of rain, this is where I'm getting concerned. Initially, when I ran this, it was like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. That's backed all the way down to just 1/100th of an inch of rain. Maybe subsequent runs will make it a little bit better. Most southern portion of our viewing area, we're looking for scattered showers for us going to Tuesday night, going to early Wednesday morning. Then they clear out very quickly. So even as we run this last little bit along the coast, you'll notice Wednesday we're still powering our way through a possible wet Wednesday throughout the mid portion of the work week. So that should hopefully work out for us as we bounce back from a cold start Tuesday to a much milder feel for us as we go into Wednesday. And even as you take a look at what's happening with our Gulf forecast, we're supposed to be expecting for these scattered showers to stay cooperative for us and stay out of the way until we really, really need it. And then as we take a look at what's happening with our forecast, finally, we anticipate that we're going to see some scattered showers that will become a bit of a challenge for us as we go into a good portion of the late evening hours. Here's a quick look at your extended forecast. And overall, we're looking for that rain on Wednesday.
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, take a look at this, an incredible rescue on the Chesapeake Bay. This is video from the Coast Guard saying they rescued 2 men and their dogs from the Fleeton Point area. Now, that's on the Chesapeake Bay, across the bay from Tangier Island, if you're familiar. The dogs and the people, totally okay, by the way, and they were rescued via helicopter. Wicomico deputies are looking for a man they say shot a woman multiple times. Police say it happened Saturday afternoon on North Curlew Road. Deputies say a woman was found with multiple gunshot wounds. She was taken to the hospital, and she's stable despite life-threatening injuries, sheriffs say. Police say Daquan Bratton from Salisbury is the suspect, and he's on the loose. Anyone with information about him is asked to contact authorities. If you live in Lewis and want to share your thoughts on how the city should spend its money, you're going to want to listen to this. The Financial Stewardship Subcommittee is hosting a budget workshop. That is this Thursday, November 21st at the Rollins Center. There are 2 sessions. One is at 1 The other is at 5. If you didn't know, we have a super fun program on Coast TV every weekday at 4. Coast Life. It's about all things health, wellness, and lifestyle. And here's a short preview about what you can expect this week.
I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Here's what's coming up Monday at 4 on Coast Life. We're going to be talking to BB Healthcare about something that really the experts need to explain, because we are talking robotic surgery and how it can help out you and your loved ones. Also, that Christmas holiday cheer is in full swing at Shellville. You know it, you love it, and we have an inside look if you didn't get to stop by this weekend. We have that and a whole lot more Monday at 4 on Coast Life.
Still to come on Coast TV News, climate resiliency on the coast. The new term being buzzed about across the country and how we are seeing it locally. Up next. A new approach to climate change. Instead of debating if it's happening and how, scientists are instead starting to accept and explore the uncertainty of it all. Brad Hicks explains why this new outlook could influence the future and how you talk about the issue.
Ask anyone about climate change.
I'm skeptical.
And you're guaranteed to get an opinion.
So that's going to lead to flooding.
But ask if they've heard of climate resilience.
I haven't.
No.
And it's like you're speaking a foreign language.
Give me 2 seconds, I can Google it.
Climate change is controversial. Even the experts don't agree or even thoroughly understand why climate changes or how it's changing.
Some of the climate models disagree. Some of them may say that it's wet, some of them may say that it's dry. So when we talk about climate change, we talk about the idea that there's going to be more variability, maybe there's going to be less water in some places and more water in other places. And there's a really wide range of what could happen.
And that's where climate resilience comes in. Since we don't really know what's going to happen, we need robust solutions that can adapt to whatever the outcome is. It's a new framework for scientists and engineers to tackle the climate conundrum.
It's definitely a change in thinking. How can we design solutions that allow us to be flexible with what might happen in the future?
Not only is it a new paradigm for professionals, it's also a perspective that can help everyday people who disagree on climate change come together.
How do we frame these solutions in ways that people can understand?
Susan Martin, with her company Virga Labs, is trying to make climate resilience the new topic in the climate conversation.
It's less of a conversation about what's causing what we're seeing and more about how do we make sure that those changes don't end up in disasters.
She uses engaging art to illustrate easy-to-understand stories that explain this new approach the experts are using to deal with uncertainty.
How we talk about these ideas and how we visualize these ideas is really important to engaging everyone in a conversation about what could be possible in the future.
If you're interested, the website is virgalabs.io. Brad Hicks reporting.
Well, we've seen towns on Delmarva start to tackle climate resiliency in the same way. Here are just a few examples. The town of Lewis is considering a resiliency fund. That's money that would go towards responding to big disasters like storms. Fenwick Island commissioned a resiliency study that tackled flooding and sea level rise. And DNREC is currently working on updating the state's climate action plan, which outlines Delaware's strategy to combat climate change. Well, new tonight, legendary and controversial gymnastics coach Bella Caroli has died at 82 years old. No cause was given. Caroli helped coach Mary Lou Retton and Carrie Strug, among others, to gold medals, but he was also called abusive. And during the final years of his life, allegations of sexual abuse surfaced at his Caroli ranch in Texas, which also served as an Olympic training site. Still to come on Coast TV News, the hidden dangers of standing desks. But first, a deadly E. coli outbreak. What you need to know up next on Coast TV News. In your health news tonight, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is investigating an outbreak of E. coli linked to tainted carrots. The outbreak has caused 1 death and sickened dozens of other people in 18 states. Investigators traced the organic carrots to Grimway Farms. That's a carrot producer in Bakersfield, California. The company has recalled its bagged organic baby and whole carrots. They were sold under a number of brand names, including Trader Joe's, Wegmans, and Sprouts. The baby organic carrots had a best if used by dates ranging from September 11th to November 12th. President Joe Biden wrapping up a weekend meeting with world leaders. He's the first sitting president to visit the Amazon. As Jen Sullivan reports, many world leaders wondering where the U.S. will stand on key issues like the global economy, trade, and climate change as former President Donald Trump prepares to take office again.
President Joe Biden landing in Brazil Sunday ahead of the G20 summit Monday in Rio. Biden spending the day touring the Amazon to see the effects climate change has had on the world's largest rainforest.
Some may seek to deny or delay the clean energy revolution that's underway in America.
The president pledging billions of dollars to help nations bolster resilience against climate change. This wraps up a weekend of meeting with global leaders.
Good afternoon.
Biden here meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping Saturday in Peru for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation known as APEC. It was the final time these two leaders will meet as Biden's presidency winds down.
These conversations prevent miscalculations, and they ensure the competition between our two countries will not veer into conflict.
Through a translator, Xi saying, quote, "The United States has recently concluded its elections. China's goal of a stable, healthy, and sustainable China-U.S. relationship remains unchanged." The two-day APEC meeting comes as Biden gets ready to leave office and the world prepares for a Donald Trump presidency once again. Analysts say these meetings leave many world leaders concerned over how the U.S.'s stance on key issues will change under Trump.
It's Joe Biden as a lame duck, and he's not in a position to reassure.
Monday, Biden will meet with world leaders to discuss the economy and climate change at the G20 summit. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Also, during the president's trip to South America, Biden authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied long-range weapons to strike Russia. That's according to two U.S. officials. This marks a major shift in U.S. policy and would allow Ukrainian forces the ability to strike within Russia for its defensive purposes. The holiday season is here, and while it's wonderful for some, it's not for everybody. And that's where Draper Media's Bless Our Children campaign can help bring the Christmas spirit to everyone. But we need your support to make it happen.
For many in our community, the holidays can bring about stress as they strive to create unforgettable moments for their cherished little ones.
That's where the Bless Our Children campaign can help, but we need your support to make it happen. All the money you donate goes to local nonprofit organizations, which give gifts to children this holiday season.
Every penny you give helps families right here on Delmarva because WBOC covers all administrative costs.
You can help local children by accepting the Shell Brothers Bless Our Children Challenge by donating at least $1,000. And as our thank you, we'll list your business name on the Shell Brothers Honor Roll in order of amount given in increments of $1,000.
And you can donate by sending a check or money order to address on the screen or online at blessourchildren.org.
Together, we can make the holidays this year a special one.
Well, you can definitely feel that chill in the air, and it's not playing around, so you need to wear the long sleeves if you just have to step out this time of the night / morning, whenever it catches you. Keep in mind, our Hershey's exterior camera, we have the winds coming out of the west at about 5 miles per hour, and so the winds combining with that drop in temperature is going to make it not so comfortable. I mean, it'll be bearable, but not comfortable. Temperatures in the 40s, feeling like the 30s. So as you take a look at our radar, we're staying very clear at this present time, keeping a close eye on a trough that's developing over to our west. Now, keep in mind, for tonight, looking for partly cloudy to clear skies and dropping down to 41 degrees. A cold start to tomorrow, and then we start feeling a little bit milder by the afternoon, much milder later, particularly right after lunchtime with winds out of the northwest. Then for Tuesday, we are looking for some scattered clouds, and then for late Tuesday, particularly south of the Salisbury area, we're watching out for some late night sprinkles to develop going into early Wednesday morning, and that's going to be our best chance of scattered showers at this particular juncture. Now, even with that being the case, here's a look at your 10-day forecast real quick. And we want to go over this in a little more detail. Lots of sunshine for us on Monday. Then we drop down to 41. Tuesday is going to be cooler in general because we'll have cloudy skies. But then on Tuesday night going to Wednesday, that's going to be our best opportunity from scattered showers. Now, we make rain a big deal now because we've been in a drought pattern, and we are still technically in a drought pattern as we speak. Then temperatures will drop significantly for us. Thursday going to Friday, Friday night going into Saturday. And so we're looking at temperatures that are going to teeter right into the 30s. So we're watching out for a chance of frost to develop throughout this week, going to the next weekend where temperatures will climb back into the 50s. And then finally, by next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we'll have much milder afternoons. But notice we will be in the 30s in the early morning hours.
Paul, thank you. Barnes & Noble is expanding, and you might know this, but one opened at the outlets in Rehoboth this fall. That's just one of more than 60 new stores the company will open this year. Barnes & Noble is bucking a recent trend. Analysts say that's because the bookseller is revamping its business model and prioritizing customer preferences in communities over a one-size-fits-all approach. Well, bad news for many of us who love our standing desks. While prolonged sitting has long been associated with obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases, researchers say standing for a long time it actually increased a person's risk of circulatory problems. Researchers say the key to staying healthy is moving and interrupting long stretches of sitting or standing. Thank you so much for joining us here for Coast TV News after Sunday Night Football. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News Today, starting at 5. Have a great rest of your night.